Hey everyone, welcome to your Monday, March 15th stimulus update. On this episode, I'm going to bring you through the way that you can find out when your stimulus payment is coming. And I'm going to show you a couple of things that you can do to troubleshoot some problems I think some people are having. And even if this doesn't work for you, I'll give you some additional ideas to try and find out when your payment is in fact coming. I know many of you have already figured it out. Some of you haven't, but maybe if you have friends or family who are still trying, there might be something they're doing wrong, which I'll point out to you in just a moment. After we go through that entire process, I am going to answer some questions that are still being asked on the comment section below. If I don't get to your question in a future episode, if you want to leave a question below on this video, you can do that. I will address it in a future episode. So let's go ahead and get to figuring out when exactly your stimulus payment is coming. So this right here is the IRS website. This is Irs.gov. I will leave every website in the description below. And what you're going to do is you're going to click on the Get My Payment tool. Now, I know a lot of you have already done this, but just stick with me here for a second. And if you haven't done this already, this is the way that you're going to go ahead and find out when your stimulus payment is coming. So go ahead and click on that box right there. And it's going to bring you down here. We welcome your feedback. Okay. So it's going to bring you down here. 2021 Economic Impact Payment Status Available. So basically the IRS is telling you, well, your status is available. You might get some different status messages. If you want to look at the different status messages you might get, you can read through that. But we're not going to worry about that. What you're going to do is you're going to click on this blue button that says Get My Payment. So after clicking on that button, it's going to bring you here, U.S. government system for authorized use only. You are using it for authorized use, so you're going to go ahead and click OK. And then it's going to bring you here to this page where you're going to start to enter in your information. And I think this is where some people may be having some issues. First, you want to enter your 9-digit social security number. But when you enter it, you don't want to have any spaces, no dashes, nothing like that, just the 9 digits themselves. So I'm going to go ahead and enter mine. And then you're going to come down to entering your date of birth. Now, when you do enter your date of birth, you want to use the format that they're giving you. So you want to use 2 numerical numbers for the month. So if you were born in July, you would use 07. If you're born in December, 12. Then you want to use 2 numerical numbers for your date and then 4 numerical numbers for your year with the dash in between. So again, make sure you use that format. I'm not entirely sure if it's possible not to use that format, but just do it exactly as the IRS is telling you. Then you want to enter your street address. Now, when you enter your street address, this is really important. Don't put your city here. Don't put your state here. Don't put your zip code here. If you do that, this is not going to work. So just the street address itself, and then you're going to put your zip code at the bottom there, okay? And so once you have all that information set in correctly, then you're going to push continue. If everything works out well and all the data is in there correctly, it'll give you your payment status. And you can see here, my payment status, it says, we scheduled your payments to be deposited on March 17th, 2021 to the bank account listed below. I'm going to look at the bank account and make sure that that bank account makes sense for me. This bank account does in fact make sense for me, so that's really good. And then it says, if you don't see your payment credited to your account, check with your bank to verify they received it. This is where I'm going to give you the next piece of important advice. If you entered in all of your information correctly and you did it in the format that Irs.gov said to do it in, but you're still not receiving a payment status that you like, it's saying data is not available or whatever it's saying, I would encourage you to call up your bank or wherever you're expecting them to deposit this money, because there might be an issue there and they might give you some information that might be helpful. If your bank doesn't have any additional information, it's still not a problem. More than likely, the IRS's system is just bombarded with almost 200 million people, and it just simply doesn't handle it. They're going to get a percentage wrong. It's just going to happen, and that's most likely what's going to go on with you. But you can go back, try to see if the Get My Payment tool works for you if it hasn't worked already. Many people are getting the 17th, which, by the way, I don't want to necessarily toot our horn here at According to Vin. The Wednesday the 17th was the date we picked like 3 weeks or a month ago that we said that they were going to go out. The majority of them were going to be going out on that day. And That was it. Now, the reason why we did that is because Wednesday was always being used in the previous ones. It always took the week after. So we just basically went with the same thing. But then we updated it a little bit and we said, well, some people are going to start getting it on the weekend. And that was being reported. And that, of course, did happen for many people as well. But we also need to let you know that many people are not even going to get it the first week or the second week or the third week. It's going to take the fourth week and the fifth week and the sixth week because that is the IRS. And a lot of people want to know, what about SSI and SSDI? Of course, you're getting the stimulus check. It may take a little bit longer to get out some of those individuals. It may not. There is really no rhyme or reason. The checks will start to go out very shortly after these first deposits are made. I'm going to go over some of the questions I had in my last video, and maybe some of these questions will resonate with you. And if they don't, perhaps a family member or a friend might have one of these questions. You'll be able to help them out. So one person asked, why hasn't my stimulus gotten to my bank account yet? Well, it hasn't gotten to your bank account yet because it hasn't gotten to over 150 million people's bank account yet. It will get there soon. A lot of people are going to get it this upcoming week. Would people on SSI or SSDI be able to get this third stimulus? Yes, SSI and SSDI across the board are going to get this stimulus check. I don't know that there would be a way that someone who is on Social Security or SSDI would not be able to get this money. You're going to get it. I got my stimulus this morning, and it was based on my 2019 taxes. This year, I have dependents. Will I be able to get stimulus money for them? So you're saying this year you have dependents. Did you have these dependents last year? When you're filing taxes in 2021, it's really on last year. So I'm assuming you had those dependents last year, and you're now putting them on your tax form this year. But the IRS processed your last year's forms and didn't give you the money for your dependents. And you already filed. So what do you do in this situation? Yes, I would believe that you can get that money, but you may either have to do one of two things. Number one, you may have to amend, which you probably don't want to do. Or number two, you may have to wait until next year to file a recovery rebate credit on your next year's taxes because you didn't get the money for them. Or number three, the IRS is going to figure it out. Their computer systems are going to realize, wait a second, this person has dependents now. We didn't pay them the money for this, and they're going to send out another check to you for the additional amount. I understand that none of those three options are really good, but those are really the only three options that exist. Either you amend it and you ask for the recovery rebate credit, you wait until next year and do the recovery rebate credit, or the IRS figures it out and then they process it and they give you the money that you are owed. The only other option after that is you're not going to get the money, but one of those four needs to take place. And I would fight myself personally to get it the best way that I could. So hopefully that helps in that situation. 2019 taxes, I was over the threshold. So basically, if this person was married filing joint, they made over the amount of money that they wouldn't get any stimulus. But in 2020, it was much lower. We filed February 23rd. Will I get the stimulus? Well, it's whichever one the government has processed. The government should have processed the February 23rd by this point. So I would think that it would go on your 2020 taxes. It's tight though. The IRS is slow to process a lot of times. So February 23rd is close. And I can't tell you 100% if they process your 2020 taxes to get you to that threshold or if their computer system is going to go with 2019. I cannot be 100% sure. It'll be close, but very possibly they did process your new tax forms. If someone was garnished, would they take the whole amount or just a percentage? If someone's able to garnish it, and it's possible that some private companies could garnish parts of this, they would take whatever they were owed. If it was everything, they would take everything. If it was a percentage, they would take a percentage. There wouldn't be some sort of limitation on what they could take from you. I mean, I think it's ridiculous, and I wish that they would introduce the legislation to stop it. But there's no limitation on the percentage they could take. By the way, the government can't take anything from you. Back taxes, they can't take anything from you. Child payment, they can't take anything from you. So there's a number of ways that they cannot. But then there are some private companies that can. Why am I now getting a letter from the Department of the Treasury telling me I got the $1,200 stimulus from the $600 stimulus Why did this happen months ago? So actually, a lot of people are getting the letters right now. They gave us the $600 stimulus. Now, if you're married filing joint, you got $1,200. If you have a child, you got $1,800. If you had 2 children, you got $2,400, and so on. They are now sending those letters out to people, and many individuals are confused on what this letter is all about. I even had a coworker come up to me and they said, "Vin, what is this? Why am I getting this letter? Is this a scam?" And I looked at it and I said, "No, this is actually the government a couple of months after they sent you the payment, just confirming that they sent that payment to you." So that letter is fine. It's not a scam. It's nothing wrong. The government just took 2 months to send that letter out to you to confirm the $600. And by the way, they will be sending out another letter to you about this $1,400 stimulus, and it could be a couple of months down the line that they're going to send that out as well. I know a lot of people want to know about a 4th stimulus. I'm going to keep you guys up to date on this channel about what's going on with a 4th stimulus. There is some movement in some ways, not just related to a 4th stimulus, but also related to around keeping the child tax credit as a permanent thing for different wage earners. So there's a lot coming up. The government is making a lot of moves right now that may impact us in the ongoing near future here, possibly perpetually. So we're going to keep you up to date on that. Also, the new infrastructure bill that's coming through, and also on any changes that are coming up with the payments going out, or if there's anything you need to do. Thank you all for sticking with me. As always, I will catch you next time.